I don't know if I'm supposed to be making this video. I don't know if I'm allowed to show this. I talked to UV guys a couple weeks ago. I told them I wanted a vertical pin. They said they actually were tinkering and maybe coming to market with one. I'm like, send me what you got. Holy crap. Come on, guys. I want to show you all about this vertical post UV slider. I'm kind of a sight snob, and this checks a lot of boxes. Come along. Okay. I don't even know if I'm allowed to do this video. I'm probably going to get in trouble. I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit. UltraView slider. We did a video on it. I'm just kind of reviewing like post elk season. It's December now. I've been running this thing for 4 months and I'm going to keep it on my bow. That should mean a lot to you guys because I've tried a lot of sights out there and I'm not going to stop trying new sights as they come out. I have other bows to set up to tinker with, but as far as this chassis, this rail, I love it. The ergonomics of the slider are the best. Index, flip, and go. And I don't know if they're going to come out with this vertical post. I don't know if this is a prototype. I don't know if this is a next year's thing. I don't know if I'm not supposed to show it, but too late. We're showing you. And then if this is not an option, I have a backup plan for you with my friends over at Dark Owl running their scope on this UV slider. Best of both worlds. I love a vertical sight picture. I love a post going up to the vertical, seeing around the animal. For me, I think I can aim better. I like a single pin the best, but that's not super applicable to the elk hunting woods. I like multiple pins because elk move fast, especially if you range, you draw back, and then they take a couple more steps. Multiple pins is where it's at for out west, in my opinion. A single pin's just going to cost you a shot eventually. It happened to me a couple years ago. I don't like 5-6 pins on the side horizontal. It's a lot of clutter, but some people are used to it. I think a vertical is cleaner, and I know that Spot Hog came out with a triple stack. I thought that was awesome. Black Gold came out with the dual track. I've ran both. I've killed animals with both, but those have their shortcomings. The Spot Hog is just too heavy, and the housing's just too big. And the dual track's awesome, but it's only 2 pins. It needs to be at least 3. You need at least 3 for me. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about me. This checks a lot of boxes with these 3-pin vertical posts. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to adjust them, so you're going to have to do like you do with the Dark Owl and know your feet per second. And I don't even know if UV is going to come out with this option, but I know Dark Owl will. And when you come out with a vertical post, you can't move those pins. They are what they are. So with Dark Owl, I'm going to bring the guy who owns it is Cody, and we're going to make some ElkShape specific ones and do a limited run. I'll tell you about that in a second. We'll bring him on live podcast with him, talk about his scope, which I'm running on a different bow that has a UV slider on it. We'll talk to him about that. But ultimately, this guy right here, I just put it on my bow and I absolutely love it. The top pin, I just shot it in, top pin 20, second pin 37, bottom pin 50. So let's just say 20, 35, 50, quite the spread. You can even pin gap with that, i.e. if an animal is at 42.5 yards, I can split the second and bottom pin. Plus I can also cover 20, 35, and 50. Quite the spread. Pin size 0.015. I think that is the absolute sweet spot for pin sizes. It's got this white vis ring on it now with, you can run with or without the light depending on if it's legal or illegal in the state you're hunting. Take that in and take that out. As far as setting up the sight, super easy. 2 screws here. You can't take them all the way out. You just loosen them until they stop. They hit their dead stop. Speaking of dead stops, the UV slider needs a dead stop. They know that. They're working on that. This does not have that yet. And then you can pop out the cartridges. You can, I could take this one out and put the horizontal pin back in, or whatever you want. I think the housing size is just in the sweet spot. If you can use their lights, I think it's one of the best options out there as possible. You can turn it on, and it brightens up your pins and your bubble. If you'll tap it again, it can turn the light off on the bubble, so it's just the pins. The bubble's not so bright. And then it'll shut off after, I think, 3 or 4 minutes on its own, so you don't have to constantly replacing batteries, because we always forget to turn our lights off. The fibers are wrapped tightly, and they're just safe and secure. This thing is durable. It lasted through my elk season, which is hunting every day of September, pounding brush, going through sage, in the aspens, all that, and it's still durable, checks a lot of boxes. I was skeptical, to be honest with you. I don't know if UltraView is known for like bulletproof like Spot Hog, but man, this thing checks a lot of boxes, and it is, for me, been bulletproof. And then obviously the ergonomics, like I said, the sight tape, all that stuff. You can run dual sight tapes if you wanted. It's a great sight tape. So what we did is all I did is I took this cartridge out and lined it up with my sight tape, and I pretty much knew based on the pin gap that I was somewhere around 20, 35, 50, and then I just went out and inspected it. It looks like that second pin is closer to 37 yards, which is fine. And that's what I'm going to run. And I'm literally hunting right now. Like tomorrow I'm going out and I'm taking this. I just double checked everything. And that's just, it's a way better sight picture for me having 3 pins vertical versus 3 on the side and a little dinky one on the bottom. I don't like that. I like just 3 vertical, beautiful sight picture, clean and crisp. And if these aren't available to the market, if I'm just hyping you guys up for something they're not even taking serious, then reach out to UltraView and let them know, hey, we are serious. We want the vertical option on the UV slider. And if they still don't do it or not fast enough, then check out my boy Dark Owl Archery. In fact, let's bring him on right now. We'll do a video podcast for you guys and go over how his sight works. It's just a scope, and how you can pick your pin gap so that it fits your speeds that you're getting with your individual setup. Let's go. Hey guys, so like Diode has a vertical pin sight. It's 3 pins, but you can't adjust the pins. And then this prototype thing that UV made is badass, and I just got it today and I just shot it and I loved it, but I'm not gonna be able to adjust the 3 pins that are vertical. I went out and shot it. I got my top pin's 20 and my second pin is 37 and my bottom pin is 50. And I won't be able to, that's just kind of what I get. My buddy Cody from South Dakota, he has this Dark Owl, which I have on this Phase 4 that I took to Hawaii, shot some Axis with. Beautiful sight picture. And I was like, I'm going to get him on this video right now. So I just called him up. He's live on his end. And I'm going to ask him, because on his 3-pin vertical, you can basically do some measurements and order it exactly to your specs. Cody Kress, what is good, homie?
It's going good, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm busy, but I'm glad you took some time out of your evening. This is not what you do for a living. Obviously, you're a machinist, consulting, but you made a really badass scope that some people are starting to take notice. I did a video on it, and you made one that's got topography. It says Elk Hunter, ElkShape. I told you that if you came on this video that I would sell these on my website until you're out. And I guess you only have 17 left. We'll talk about that in a second. But first and foremost, dude, how did you come up with such a badass scope? This thing is bulletproof. It's got a beautiful sight picture, and you can basically customize the pins to, before you even get it, you can order it exactly to your specs. How did you think of all this?
Well, I come from the firearms industry. I've been doing machine for almost 10 years now. Big thing with scopes is drop turrets. So the ability to pick your distances for your turret itself. So doing a custom turret like that, similar concept to this scope. So I wanted to build something for me that was set up for my 20, 30, 40 in a triple pin. But no one else has that, so I decided to make this on my own. This is just built for me. It wasn't built for consumers. It was built off of something that I wanted to get done. So
yeah, well, you did a freaking good job. I love it. It's super clean. It fits a lot of different sights. Like this one's on a HHA. I had another one that I put on the UV slider. I put on a Spot Hog, a landslide. I'm sure there's other ones out there, but basically this is your standard 41 millimeter scope.
Yep, 41 millimeter.
And it fits on just about anything.
Yeah, I mean, it'll fit on Excel. It'll fit on HHA, B3, the CBE Trek Pro, just a multitude of sights. The UV slider, just came out. That has a different screw. We changed that, so that'll work on there. But yeah, I mean, it'll fit on a vast majority of hunting sites.
Yeah, man. And as I'm looking at this thing, I don't like horizontal pins as much as I like vertical pins. It's just a cleaner sight picture for me, but I don't want to hunt with a single pin out west. I want at least 3 pins because shit happens when you party with elk. And I've had a double pin screw me over in the past. I ran the dual track. That kind of messed me up on an elk one time. I'll save that story for another time. I liked Spot Hog's triple stack, but I felt like, good God, it's just such a big housing. I'd have to go up in peep size, and it's heavy, and I'm just maybe too particular for that one. And then you came out and sent me this one, and I just tried it out, and I just want to like push your business because I think, one, I know you're not in the archery industry full time, like you have a real job. So I know that this is a passion project, and we have these for sale on ElkShape.com tonight. They're going live. So if you're watching this video, first come, first serve. We have 15 right-handed and 2 left-handed, and these are the first run. And then if you guys, when those sell out, we'll do another pre-order of 100, and we'll get a sign-up sheet, and Cody can turn them around pretty fast. But let's first explain to those watching how to order the right size off the website if they want to run your scope, and then possibly talk to them, Cody, about what I think would be a good idea is if they get really into your scope is they could get the scope back single pin for like target and whatnot. And then when it comes to hunting season, they can take the scope back out, put 3-pin ones in, set specifically to their hunting specs, and they're on their way. So how do you get the exact pin for your setup? And by the way, my ElkShape setup, these are ElkShape specific ones. So it's green, yellow, green, all 10 thou with the yellow wrap around the housing. How do they measure to get the right pin gap and the right size? Pin, obviously pin size 0.010, so 10 thou or 19 thou is the two options on a 41 millimeter scope. But like Cody, how do you look at the website and know your specs?
This scope is a little bit more involved than just picking one up off the shelf, and that's by design. It's supposed to fit you and your setup. So you're gonna need to take 3 measurements. So the first measurement you're going to need to take is the center of your arrow to the center of your peep sight at full draw. You're gonna have to have someone help you out, a spouse, hunting buddy, help you out, take these measurements. So you'll need that measurement first, and then that is broken down into 3 different sizes. You have 3.5, 4, and 4.5 inches, and those are pretty common distances between the center of your arrow to the center of your peep. If you're in between,
I'm a 4. What are you, Cody?
I'm a 4 too. Yep.
And while we're here, I'll just give you. I know you have a guy filming you at home, but my view on camera is good. So I go to full draw. Don't do this in your studio like me. And so you guys can see somebody would measure that peep down to the center of my arrow. It's not very many inches. And then the second measurement, what's that one called, Cody?
The second one is your feet per second. So you're just going to need to know your bow speed. Don't use your IBO. Use your actual arrow speed. Pretty self-explanatory.
And then the third one is the one that's a little trickier. You definitely need a partner with.
Yep. So I'll actually demonstrate that. It's pretty easy. You're going to take a measurement from the center of your scope barrel to your eyeball at full draw.
Okay.
And one thing I got to note with this, if you have a dovetail, you need to make sure that you measure the distance from the center there, whatever you're going to actually have it at. So don't have it fully collapsed in, don't have it fully extended unless that's how you shoot. Your actual setup where you plan on having it, that's what you want to do. So my buddy Quentin's going to help me out here to show you guys how to do this measurement. Safe direction. He's going to take a measurement from the center of the scope rod to my actual eyeball.
Okay, 30 1/4.
Okay. So he got 30 1/4. So what he's going to do then is we're going to look at our charts, and there's, like I said, there's 3 separate charts. And with those 3 separate charts, it's broken down to the peep height. So you're going to look for that. So for Dan, it was a 4. So we'll go to the 4-inch chart, and then on the left-hand side is your feet per second, closest to 5 foot per second. And up on top is your sight radius, which is that measurement that we just took. So I'm going to put my bow speed, which is 284, and then my measurement, which was 30 inches. I'm going to correlate those two, and that's going to be the pin I'm going to use.
Yeah, mad shout out to Precision Cut Archery, Tristan over there, who kind of helped you get this.
Yeah.
So that people could pick the right. The last thing you want to do is order this beautiful sight and then realize that you got kind of what I got going on over here at the UV slider where I got 20, 37, 50. I mean, I'm not complaining. That's fine, but I would much prefer I would love to run like 30, 40, 50 or 20, 30, 40, pretty typical, and then slide from there. I think this is a great option. How much is your sight on the ElkShape.com website?
Yeah, so it's 245. That's fully engraved with 2 light adapters, one for the HHA and UV slider, and then the other one fits majority of the XL, B3, and those other scope or sight bars. So yeah.
And it does include like you could just show do you have a site with you? You can show the scope back in case guys want to like end up ordering a single pin and a triple pin down the road.
This one's engraved with mine, but you can see that it's got this one's just a single pin, and then I have a triple pin in this one. And you can take this out, you could simply swap it, and then, you know, if you have different arrow setups, if you're, you know, shooting an elk setup and then a whitetail setup, you can change that triple pin, or you could put in a single pin for tack and shoot, you know, your target type setup. So you got options with that.
I kind of dig that code. That's cool. I might have to order a single pin. That would be cool. Well, guys, this video kind of just came together today. That's kind of the beauty of YouTube, is this thing showed up in the mail from UV. I don't even know if it's on the market yet. And then I was like, well, that's a good scope. And then Cody's got a good scope. I'm just going to get Cody on the phone today, and he did it, and here we are. So thank you, Cody. Thank you, cameraman Quentin. And thank you all for watching. Check this out. This is live on the website. Like I said, there's 15 right-handed ones, 2 southpaws. When those sell out, we're going to go right into a pre-order list, and we'll keep that on the website, and we'll probably cap it at 100. And we'll help support this like fellow brethren, just dude from South Dakota who loves archery. So guys, separation is in the preparation. Comment below. What do you think of Dark Owl Archery? And we'll catch you on the next one.